Mr. Jones, if you would be so kind as to lead us in prayer.
Alrighty. Lord, we come to you tonight. Watch over us and care for us as we go out through this meeting, Lord. May we do the service of the community, and as we go through the rest of the week, Lord, may we serve you in a blessed and honored way. In the name we pray. Amen.
All right, so this will be the January regular board meeting. If you would please give us roll call, Miss Sonia.
Sonia, me, I'm here. Doug?
Here.
Daniel?
Here.
Daryl?
Here.
Mike?
Here.
Brandon?
Here.
George?
George is sick tonight and not want to pass along his discomfort to the rest of us.
We appreciate his thoughts.
All right, if you don't mind, Sonia, would you please read the minutes from the December board meeting, and then we will move
Well,
on.
we didn't have one in December, this
Or
was
the
November.
January, the November meeting, and then we'll read the special call meeting minutes afterwards.
All right, meeting called to order by Daniel at 7:03. All were present except Mike, Brandon, and George. Prayer was by Martha. Prior minutes from October's meeting read by Sonia Whitaker. Motion to approve by Daniel, second by Doug, approved by all. Minutes from October board meeting read by Sonia. Motion to approve by Daryl, second by Doug, approved by all. September's revised portion of the minutes also read. Motion to approve by Doug, second by Daniel, approved by all. Treasurer's report read by Doug. Motion to approve by Sonia, second by Daryl, approved by all. Chief's report read by Martha. Several firefighters attending classes. John Garner is catching up the pre-fire plans. All trucks running. Chief working on the permits for ServPro to begin work on the bedroom. Grant applications are ongoing. No news yet. 50 calls this month with notice of an uptick in drug-related calls. Staff reminded to make sure law enforcement are dispatched and secure the scene before their arrival. Mutual aid agreements with Brookwood Fire and Antioch Fire are being strengthened and will be finalized soon. Dues Committee, Daniel made a motion to dissolve the Dues Committee since their recommendations had been submitted. Motion was second by Daryl and approved by all. Fundraiser committee, Santa will be coming soon. Route will be posted on the website soon. Old business report sent by attorney that overdue accounts are being found to have clerical errors. Records are continually updated as we are notified of discrepancies. And a lot of these are like when people move to another place and we don't know that they've moved and it's got a new owner, we may not know that type of thing. Nothing on our end. New business, Chief has 3 ordinances he would like to present to Lakeview for possible adoption. Number 1 was the fire code management for apartments. Prevent open flames on balconies or within 10 feet of an apartment or condominium. No propane tanks on balconies in multifamily dwellings. A motion to forward the request to the mayor of Lakeview made by Daryl, second by Doug. The second one, burn permits will be required for all open burns within the fire protection district. Motion to present to the mayor of Lakeview made by Daryl, second by Daniel, approved by all. Lock boxes will be required for certain structures, including structures with automatic alarm systems or automatic suppression systems, multifamily residential structures that should have a T, have restricted access through locked doors and have a common corridor for access to living units, governmental structures, and nursing care facilities. Motion to present to the mayor of Lakeview made by Daryl, second by Sonia, approved by all. Members can sign up for Google Message online for newsletters. Monthly meeting videos are now on YouTube. Public input, there was none this night. Motion to adjourn by Kelly Rowland, second by Doug, approved by all.
Motion by Kelly?
I was looking at that too. I'm gonna go back and I kind of think I might have copied and pasted.
Yeah,
He was at
he's
some.
He was at the members meeting in October.
Yeah, I think I copied and pasted. I'll go watch the video.
Yeah, so, and I believe we had a motion to record that with that same correction in the last meeting, because those are approved with corrections. So
Yeah.
make sure that those corrections take place. Then if you would mind, let's go ahead and take care of the special board meeting minutes.
Okay, that was on January the sixth, meeting called to order by Daniel at 6 P.M. Members present, Sonia, Doug, Daniel, Mike, Brandon, George, absent was Daryl. Prayer was by George Dykes. Prior minutes from November, meeting read by Sonia, motion to approve with changes by Daniel Griffin, second by Brandon, approved by all. Jim Bossard presented the group with information on a fire truck that is up for sale via sealed bids. He explained that if the bid, we won the bid, the plan would be to replace 2 older units and sell them at auction. Is that right, or was there 3 we're gonna sell?
We voted on 2.
2, we voted on 2, okay.
We have one that we have to kind of hold off on till
And
grant
it-
stuff is.
Okay.
One of the
And
tankers.
it was Weeby Broker and it was not an auction.
Okay, I thought that was right, but I remember initially we talked about 3, so, but this is right. He answered several questions from board members. Bids are open until January the 10th. The only additional cost will be transporting the unit to Lakeview and the lettering with the Lakeview Fire Department logo. Brandon made a motion to enter a sealed bid for $12,000, and if the bid was won, to begin the process to sell trucks 1301 and 1320. Sonia seconded the motion, and all approved the motion. Motion passed, and the bid to be sent via email. A motion to adjourn made by Daniel, second by Sonia, approved by all. Meeting adjourned at 6:35.
Any corrections or additions?
Just that it's getting brokered, not auctioned. I didn't add
It's
It's
anything.
not offered. I didn't know if that was
Yeah, it's being brokered. Those are being sold via broker.
via broker. Okay, I will fix that.
And a motion to approve with corrections.
Make a motion to approve with corrections.
One second.
Thank
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Well, I've got the process to sell the trucks. Is that not
Well,
not
I
different?
think you have it in there to auction, so we just need to make sure that word gets changed, because they're not being put up for auction, they're being brokered.
Up there.
To make
Up
it easier,
there.
just delete at auction, and then that'll be, that's probably the easiest thing to do.
Okay. I can do
All
that.
right, treasurer's report.
On our checking account, we started the month of December with 69,861.98. Ended with 119,556.49. Savings, we started the month at $75,019.06. And we ended with $75,028.30. We must have got some interest in there. I love this time of year when the money comes in. It's the rest of the year when it stops coming in, it's not as fun.
Is that about 50,000?
Yeah, 2022 dues, about 50,562.
37 and delinquent came in, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
What do we got in this, we got $6,454 from other sources.
That was the insurance refund, we changed from Travelers to Best Insurance, so that was the insurance refund.
Fantastic. Anybody have any questions or anything stick out to you that you wanna have a word about?
No, that'll be for next month. I'm good.
Make a motion to
Make a
accept.
motion to accept the treasurer's report.
Need a second?
I'll second.
A motion and a second, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Chief's report is,
Who's second?
Deputy
I did.
Brandon did.
And we're doing November and December.
Yes.
So for the November 2022 Chiefs report, under personnel, very thankful to the men and women that continue to stick it out with our department, and we wish them the best wishes in the Christmas holidays. We'll be rewarding those who are interested in furthering these careers in the fire service in our community in the coming months with some new incentives. Maintenance engine 1302 is going back to Freightliner after Christmas to get a battery drawing problem looked at. Decking project is ongoing. Station maintenance. Upon further investigation by the insurance adjuster and chief, it has been discovered that the damage to the bedroom is not from black mold but from water Servpro will not get the construction project on this because their expertise is not needed. A local contractor can do the work. Education and training will start to focus more and more on 5 areas: fire-related, Lucas device, extrication, fire suppression, and tactics. Grants, Garrison East grant is still out. We have finally gotten our rejection letter from our other grant inquiries, and we've discovered inconsistencies between the Lexipol entry and Dean Harbison entry. Harbison's entry was spot on, Lexipol entry was full of discrepancies. Call volume total for the month was 60. Station 1 was 33, Station 2 was 20, Aranet was 5, Jefferson County was 2. Open reminder, we have seen an increase in drug-related calls, especially with drug overdoses. I reminded the paid staff and volunteers to make sure the law enforcement is dispatched secures the scene first before we approach these patients. ISO, mutual aid agreement with Brookwood Fire will be followed up soon. A fire recovery check was received for $590.40. Respectfully submitted.
And that was what month?
November.
November.
Didn't I
Go
have
ahead.
it on my notes? I had a lot of that on my notes. Of November.
Open
He's
November
got some,
meeting,
well, he's got some open reminders in
Okay.
there, stuff that's pretty much carrying over month to
Martha
month.
had read it.
If you wanna go ahead and move forward with December.
Sure. Let's see. December chief's report, the department has recently hired 2 additional personnel. They are Gary Johnson and Christian Doyle. These men will work as fill-in employees and will have up to 1 year to get their required certification. We welcome them into our ranks. These hires are paramount due to the increase in pay and benefits that are sweeping the country. We simply can't keep up, but we must continue forward nevertheless. Hydrants, we have a list of 33 hydrants that need to have repairs done to them. We will notify the responsible water departments of these problems. Call volume for the month of December was 36. Aranet was 6, Brookwood assist was 1, Green Pond assist was 1, Station 1 was 21, and Station 2 was 7. And then also in that, since it's December's report, the year-to-date call volume was, bear with me, 980. We had a total of 97 with Abernet, 6 in Brookwood, 12 at Green Pond, 12 in Jefferson County, 6 with McCullough, 1 with McAdory.
How many with McCullough?
McCullough, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean I was going so fast. McCullough had 6. McAdory was 1.
Okay.
Station 1 was 504. Station 2 was 330. And then the one that was in there that was Lakeview City Limits, which I've since eliminated, which would fall under Station 1's area anyway, would be 12. I eliminated that halfway through the year.
I'd like to put a little bit in on that report, that, under the hydrants, I sent an email to our Commissioner Tingle requesting some help with funding, and his reply on December 30th was, no additional funding will be available until legislation makes a decision for a way to break down the 1.2 billion for water, sewer, and broadband. So we don't have any funding available from the county.
Somehow I figured legislation.
Could have done a lot with what he gave us.
1.2 billion.
Well, somehow I figure that 1.19 billion of that is gonna end up going into Tuscaloosa and Northport.
Yeah, and Mikey.
Yeah. Ain't none of it gonna come to this end.
Under maintenance, I wasn't quite done yet. Under maintenance.
Sorry.
You're good, you're good. Engine 2 is in the shop getting the master switch fixed, at Freightliner in Tuscaloosa. And then he also put in here, I know this is gonna be discussed later, but we are the proud owners of a home. We did win the bid. Much us this opportunity to purchase this unit, Chief Bossert for his hard work, and putting all the work in to obtain it. Delivery date will be after we discuss the hauling options that we have to talk about later tonight. AFG grants for the new pumper and exhaust system will be in by 25 January. Garrison East grant should be announced by the end of February, and there was no funds received under fire recovery this month. Respectfully submitted.
Any questions regarding the chief's report from anybody? Alright,
Make a motion to accept the chief's report.
motion on the table, we have a
I'll
second.
second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you say?
Any opposed?
No,
Alright, then
Did you second?
motion carries.
You second?
No.
I'll second.
What is making that racket?
Air conditioner.
Air conditioner, ain't much we can do about that. Alright, committee reports, if we got anything, I know I've got one thing, but are there any committee reports? We got anything?
Would the building committee fall under this bid?
No, that'll fall under new business.
Okay.
So we do have something to add under new business, is the bids for the,
Actually, it fall under
old business, yeah, you're right, cause it'll be the old business, will be the repairs. One thing we have for social media, a couple of things we got there. I know Chief is planning on starting to do kind of a Chief's Corner thing, just as a regular community update that I believe he's gonna be doing on Facebook. I'm not sure if he's doing it, if it's gonna be tied to other social media platforms, but I know it's gonna be on Facebook. And one thing that I've got Catherine to put together, for us to put out is, and it's real simple, it's just a simple form breakdown of our financials versus other similar departments, so that we can start being more assertive in showing just what we're up against without a dues increase. Because the simple fact of the matter is that if you pick any similar department around here, they're operating with significantly more money and they're able to provide significantly more service. And that hurts us two ways. One, we can't provide what we need for the area as well. And second is we are constantly having our employees poached by other area departments. It's not necessarily they're coming in and targeting our people. It's just that, when you can make $5 an hour more and run half as many calls 2 miles up the road, you get in the car and you drive 2 miles up the road. So hopefully being able to kind of put that in black and white will let people know just how far behind this district is in terms of dues revenue. Communications? Alrighty. Old business, truck purchase. Tell us about this brand new truck that we've got, and, well, this brand new to us truck and all the goodies you were able to get them to include.
So it's coming as advertised. We are going to be getting some more hose than what was originally advertised. And I knew it was in the basement of their firehouse, and I knew they weren't using it, so they're putting fittings and all kinds of good stuff on it for us. There was a brand new axe that they didn't know what to do with, so they put it on. The piston valve on the side for the 5-inch steamer fitting is coming with it. There was a little bit of discussion about the LED scene lights. They are coming with it. There was a mix-up up there. So yeah, the entire LED package is coming on. That's all I got. She is officially out of service, I believe, if not tonight, tomorrow. So she will not be used up north anymore until she comes back down here.
And I believe you got here for me, there's 2 quotes
Yes.
to haul it down here. One of these is for $2,500. The other is for $3,000. Both of these, you said both of these are basically, Dutch Mennonites, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much your explanation for why it's a sentence in an email if you guys would like to look at those. Is there any reason why we would wanna go with the higher bid other than 2,500? How quickly can he get us the truck?
Which one, 2,500?
Yeah,
Last time I spoke with him, which was, what's today, Tuesday, Sunday, it looks like the week of the 24th he could load it.
okay,
Delivery would be that week or the following week, because he has a run down to Mississippi. So it's in contingent with that, because he'd bring both pieces of equipment down at the same time.
alright. And,
And the $3,000 one, he gave me 2 weeks.
okay, so he wouldn't pick it up for another week.
Which should be,
Make a motion to accept $2,500 bid to haul the truck down.
No, it's insured, right? If anything,
Yes, his name is Jerry Brubaker, he's the owner operator, but he operates under Molasses Hill Transport, so he has a business.
Okay, I have a motion, do I have a second?
who motioned?
Motion was, Mike Fisher to accept the $2,500, $2,500 shipping by, was that Brubaker?
yeah, Molasses Hill Transport.
Molasses Hill Transport.
I second.
Motion and a second. Any, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will be getting us a new truck here shortly, folks. Any updates? I know you're working on it, but where are we at as far as, getting our, other trucks ready to sell, broker out?
I have all the paperwork taken care of. I wanted to, before I got too carried away, I wanted to see what the transport timelines look like. Cause we were at their mercy. Originally one of them told me if they couldn't get to it in January, it would be March until they got to it. So I didn't really push forward with that, but I do have all the paperwork printed out. I just have to get pictures, and contact Brindley Mountain for them to review it, and then they can be posted. The only thing that we have to discuss is, I don't know that we did in January the list price.
We did not, we do need to talk about that.
That is entirely up to you folks.
Alrighty, then we,
And, I mean, if you wanna try and approve it this month, you can, or if you wanna wait until next month, and then I will have all of the paperwork filled out for the next board meeting. It's entirely up to you guys, however you wanna do it.
I don't see any reason to rush. May as well get all the information. Anybody else have any
Nah, that's
thoughts?
better thing to do.
Alrighty, thank you, thank you. The ordinances, I had a meeting with the mayor of Lakeview yesterday on our 3 ordinances. The only one that there's any potential hold up on that needs to have additional work has to do with the keys, for the commercial buildings. And because, apparently he'd already done some looking into this. With new construction, it's no problem whatsoever, but a lot of the regulations and stuff that are there now, they have to be monitored in some way so that they can be keyed in and you can tell who got the key out, for security purposes. And it's gonna be difficult to get some of the existing people to go to do that because of the cost. So he's gotta look into what all can be done there. It would be done under the auspices of their planning and zoning. So, he has to look at the legality on that and look at how that has to be put together. The other 2 ordinances, both the open burning, permits, as well as the, one for, apartment buildings and balconies and whatnot. Those 2, he told me, he said he'd send them that day out to the town attorney to get them put into correct verbiage so that they can be presented to the town council, and that he will inform me when he needs one of us to show up there and speak to the council to kind of go over what it is and why the fire department's requesting it. So, I have a feeling that we're gonna end up getting at least some version of all 3 ordinances passed, which will be quite helpful. So that is where we are at on those ordinances. They have been presented to the city, and the city is, very much in favor of pushing those forward in front of the council.
Just
Or was the mayor?
to reiterate that, Daniel, yesterday evening, I was headed home on Ten Hill Parkway, and I looked down in the hole. About the 4th or 5th house had a grill on the back porch about 2 feet away from the house,
Yep.
and the flames off the charcoal was about 3 feet high. So it is vinyl siding on the back side of the house. So all those houses sit about 2-3 feet apart. So
Well,
We really need to get that ordinance.
hopefully the only thing that left black was a stake.
Yeah, exactly. It was
Three,
like the
3
whole
foot high
backside.
flames.
The ribs are on fire.
Yeah, them ribs are
No, it
gone.
was, I think he was just burning off the charcoal, but it was like,
Say like gasoline.
yeah.
Well, good news is all of that'll have different things attached to it, and we should see a decrease in some of the unsafe burning practices that happen out in the surrounding areas. Doug, you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but if I'm not mistaken, planning and zoning currently extends 3 miles outside city limits or halfway to Woodstock, where the two municipalities intersect, just like police jurisdiction,
I
correct?
believe that is correct.
Yeah, so this will not only affect the city limits, it will affect the vast majority of the district. Because most of our district is gonna be within 3 miles of, Lakeview, except for the places where it's gonna run into Woodstock.
Do we need to talk with Woodstock soon?
Um,
Make sure that they're on board with their portion of it?
Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I'd be willing to bet they've already got similar ordinances in place, but, I'll look into that
Okay.
and make sure that they do, and I will speak to the mayor in Woodstock to see if I can get him to do the same. But does anybody have any questions or anything else regarding the ordinances? And where we're at on them? All right, record request format. You wanna go ahead and cover that for us, Ms. Martha?
The attorney had advised us to put a line on there, asking what the request is for, so that's all revision.
Okay, so that just needs to be added, no problem.
It's on there.
Fantastic. We've had a couple of discussions with the attorney, with our attorney, and some attorney general's opinions, and some discussions with state fire marshal and whatnot, kind of outlining what is and isn't required. And one thing that was unanimously said by everybody was that this district provides more documentation than basically any fire district does, more different forms of information, and we were actually kind of advised to cut back because all it does is cause a bunch of problems and confusion. But I think we're relatively good where we're at, but that was more or less the shocked look that was given to us every time we brought it up was, why do you have this form? Why do you have this document? Nobody else needs it. But we did have some updates on that, so that was
So
a
can we
yes.
make a clarification?
Sure.
What we pass out in the meeting is not a financial report. It is a recap of the checking account for each month. It is not a financial report. The only legal financial report that we have is what Don Wallace produces as the audit. That is per the state fire marshal. I talked to him myself to ask him, if I'm not doing it right, I wanna know how to do it. And I asked him, what do we need to provide? And our legal financial documents are Don Wallace's audit and our taxes. And he said, as long as we are producing those two things, we are producing all that we're required to do.
Yeah, essentially, as it was explained to me, what this form that is handed out to the board is more or less nothing but a visual aid to the board so that we can see what we're talking about. It is a totally unnecessary sheet of paper. It is not some kind of, it is not a financial document of any consequence. And that's basically where it is. And you have you have our attorney and two state level authorities that back that up.
And he also said that one of the complications with this is a lot of the verbiage and stuff is aimed towards a volunteer fire department. He said when he came here, he thought this was a volunteer fire department. He did not realize this was a fire district. There's different rules for the two. And he said, in other words, if you are a volunteer fire department and you raise money for a certain thing, you have to spend that money for that. As a fire district, as a budget, as long as we stay within our budget, it does not mean that every line has to be, if we have an overage in office supplies and under on something else, it's okay, as long as we don't go over our budget. Just like a business, because we are incorporated,
So,
Final overall budget.
yes.
so, that's on that. Any questions, concerns? Alright, let's move on and discuss the repairs downstairs.
Hey, can we go back to, the truck purchase? I think we need to approve the money, where the money's gonna come from for the purchase of that and the transportation.
Would it,
But
when we approve the purchase, would it not just,
we need to find out where the money's gonna come out of savings, out of our truck fund. Is that what we're doing? We need to.
I would just take it out of the checking account, because then when we sell that, when we sell the equipment that we're selling,
Yeah.
we replenish the checking account, and then we can make a decision on any overage past that.
Okay.
Turnout gear.
Just check.
So, that all, Brandon?
Yeah, that's right.
So, repairs, do we have any bids other than Zamatella for the,
Not that I'm aware of.
I think the chief told me that he's called several people, they're not showing up.
Servpro's the only person we got to show up, and then, Zamatilla came.
which they're significantly more expensive. So Lakeview Fire Department, cost estimate to replace rear back exterior door and to replace water damage directly underneath door and surrounding subfloor area attached to the door opening. Door replacement for the 36 by 80 door will be similar to the front door, primed metal, insulated, prime wood moldings, aluminum threshold, and fitted for passage, door lock and deadbolt lock. Estimated cost is $820, labor and materials, does not include repairs to the existing vinyl floor and does not include finish paint. Do we need to continue to seek somebody else to fix this problem? Do we wanna have them rebid, including finish paint and the flooring?
Right now, you can't get in and out the door.
Yeah, so what's our board's
We've
thoughts?
been, what, 2 months waiting on bids? 3, whatever.
We don't need to push this down, especially with it being under 1,000, we don't.
We can get
push it
Chief to
down.
stain the, to paint and stain the door.
No,
You
no,
gotta feel the
no.
It'd be another 3 months.
Poke it outside.
Yep.
Yeah, he come in here the other day, looked at this, and said, y'all hadn't painted that door yet.
So,
Wasn't George gonna help us with the flooring, I thought?
I think he was, yeah.
Yeah.
The actual flooring, but
Just put it over
Yeah.
there.
Some
Yeah,
floors,
well, yeah.
some floors here because of the vinyl.
We had, this doesn't include existing, repairs to existing vinyl, well, that's what I was asking George's.
Yeah, George is handling the vinyl, so I guess all we're gonna have to do is get some guys to paint it. What's your pleasure?
I make a motion to accept the bid as read.
I'll second.
A motion and a second to accept this bid from Zamatella Construction to repair the back room and back door for $820. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. New business, got us an Eagle Scout presentation. Would you like to go ahead and present?
For those that don't know me,
I'm gonna, step out for a minute. Recuse myself since he's my son.
In other words, you don't wanna play it? Is that what you say?
I just don't wanna.
they don't have
No, he's leaving, well, we know what he's doing, he's headed to the truck, he's leaving the meeting already. Sneaking out.
So, like I was saying, for those that don't know me, I'm Ty Schultz. I attend Investment Academy. I'm 17 years old, and I'm a part of Troop 477. It meets right down the road from the church. We meet every Tuesday. But trying to achieve my rank with the Eagle, and to do that, we have to fulfill a project. And I chose my project to benefit the fire district. And I will be making the 911 signs, the blue signs that go on the sides of mailboxes for my neighborhood. It's off of Tenniel Parkway and Heritage. There will be no cost to the fire district or the citizens. I'm sure y'all wonder how, but fill the boot, not fill the boot. We'll be
Helmet.
doing the fill the helmet thing at Petra and Love's. Can't do it on the property, but we can do it at the exit road. I'm hoping it would be about 3 or 4 good weekends worth of what's the word?
Fundraising.
Fundraising. Thank you very much. In my planning, I pulled address data for all the streets in the area and the cost for the expected 200 signs would be, and 2,000 reflect those numbers. The mounting screws that would be needed, approximately $2,800, which is turned into an estimated cost of $14 per sign. The citizens will not have to incur a charge, and any proceeds that are left over from our project will be turned over to the Lakeview Fire District. I think that's pretty much all I've got. But thank you for your time and consideration for this project that will help Lakeview Fire and my goal to reach Eagle.
Sounds pretty fantastic to me.
Alright, well, you be needing fire trucks down there also when you do this?
Man, it look,
Look back, okay, well, I just wonder.
Now, that was my question too.
Oh, well,
I didn't
okay.
know how many times we do this fill the helmet thing.
And it's roughly $700 per weekend to do it in 4 weekends. That's I think that's gonna be a pretty good helmet. It's gonna be a heavy helmet.
Yeah, that's what I was going, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
All you had to do is say we'd like to.
When you gonna start this, take a fire truck down there,
fire truck.
put a sale sign.
There you go. There you go. That's how we're gonna raise the money. That's how
The first $10,000 bid.
So I'm gonna have people from my troops and maybe
From the department, I mean.
1 or 2. I don't need everybody out there, but a fire truck would be.
Just one and just an apparatus and a driver.
We just have to make sure that they understand it's not the fire department.
I'm planning on having the troop trailer out there also as Lakeview Troop 477 marked on front, so they'll know too. But
I think we just get him set up with chief to
I
handle
think
the
just for
particulars of
safety
that. So
reasons, have the fire truck there.
How many screws you say you need?
I don't know the amount of screws. There's 2 holes in each, but there's also 200-ish sides, so roughly.
That'd be 400 screws. I'll give you some screws.
Thanks.
You want long screws, short screws, code screws,
Correct.
rusty screws, huh?
Rest screws, I'll take all the rest.
Bit screws.
Did you say when?
I got
Some
some
concrete
screws.
nails.
I'm hoping to start fundraising March.
Got some
the
10-inch
4th,
spikes.
the first Saturday in March.
Pay a quarter piece for
And
them.
going through April.
My wife says you can't go nowhere by yourself. But it's just sad.
Well, you just have to do it according to the weather.
I'll give y'all a level too,
Make
so
more,
much.
but
Is that something we can advertise on our website?
We can definitely advertise it on Facebook. I don't see any
Or
reason why we
Facebook.
wouldn't be able to. It just needs to be differentiated that it's not the department doing it. That we're just supporting the local Boy Scout troop in their efforts.
Which will help us also.
Yeah, which helps us also, obviously. And I think that I don't think it's necessary, but just for the kicks and grins of it and the formality of it, we can go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to allow the chief to do what he feels is reasonable to assist with fundraising efforts, so long as it doesn't affect the service in the district.
I'll second.
You made the motion.
Yeah, I got a motion in a second. Motion is to allow the chief to determine what's reasonable as long as it doesn't affect service within the district to assist with his fundraising efforts. All in favor? Any opposed? Brandon Jones abstains.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah, tell him to come back and do it, Mark.
We'll leave it on there.
Is that you closes?
Either have to run away. He could've just sat there and been quiet.
You could just abstain for the vote.
Huh?
You could just abstain for the vote.
Everybody say, could've just abstained with the vote. Done ran all the way out.
We made a motion that you're gonna go out there and help them every weekend.
All right, that's fine.
That's what scouts do.
We also made the motion that you're gonna take care of painting that door.
That's what I get for leaving, right?
And you
Vote
put it in too.
unanimous.
You say $20, you put it in.
That's right, save $20. All right, anybody got anything else?
Yes, I don't know whether many of y'all knew Sherman Oglesby. He was one of the founding members of this fire department. He passed away a couple of weeks ago. And, I think, we need to send something to him like we have the past board members, on board members. I talked with Martha about it, and I think we sent $150 to, not the money, but the organization that they was affiliated with.
That's what we did for Charles Smith.
Yeah.
And then I think otherwise we've sent a spray or something of that nature.
So they wanted us to donate or whatever to Hickman Chapel Baptist Church. I gave Martha the name and address. I just need board's approval to send it.
Hickman Chapel
Baptist
Baptist.
Church.
And what was his name? I got the Sherman.
Sherman Oglesby.
Yeah, I got that all messed up.
All right, now,
Yeah, you made the motion?
yes,
I'll second.
okay.
I have a motion and a second to, in lieu of flowers or other, gestures, to donate $150 to the Hickman Chapel Baptist Church.
I think it was Cemetery Association, I believe, instead of the church.
Cemetery Association.
Yeah.
When you find out for sure.
Martha's got the
Okay.
address.
I got the addresses,
That's all right.
yeah.
For,
Yeah.
Mr. Oglesby. Or on behalf of. All in favor? Any opposed?
To go along with that, on the same subject, I think we need to go ahead and vote on anytime anything like this comes up, that we can automatically go ahead and do that.
I think,
If it's a former board member, I'm gonna say his wife. I mean, that's just my suggestion.
Mike, you look for your wife to kick the bucket.
No, she'll make him.
yeah, that just needs to be pretty,
I think what he's trying
Explicit.
to say is not, it would be done automatically.
Yes.
But we're trying to make a policy
Yeah,
that it would go no further than a husband and a wife.
that's what I was just about to say, is if we're gonna just automatically authorize that the department just, hey, no vote needed, go ahead and send it, as long as we have somebody who passed away close to the department. We need to make sure we have some pretty strict, guidelines on who that is, otherwise we're gonna have random
that's-
guy who volunteered one time and ran one call, $150 every time we turn around.
I think it was just 100.
was it 100? Okay, I did, okay.
I wanna say it was 150 with, Charles Smith.
Well, I think we did 250 with Charles Smith, but everybody else has just been 100.
And that's gotta be more
There was a
consistent
Coleman,
too.
Coleman, Bill Copeland, we did 100, and somebody else, we just did 100.
Yeah, that needs to be a lot more, that needs to be more consistent too. He'd be playing favorites.
They only give me 79.
Okay, you said.
We did
Oh,
time for the
in
council.
addition to that, I'd like to add on to it, not just the board, but any fireman with, say, 15+ years.
15+ years of service,
Service
volunteer
to-
or professional.
To the department.
Is that you gotta make a motion for
That's a
that?
motion.
Alright, so the motion is just to clarify that we authorize $150 anytime a former board member, spouse of a former board member, or former Lakeview Fire Protection District firefighter with 15 years of service passes away, to have a $150 either memorial spray or donation made to an organization, an appropriate organization chosen by the family. Do I have a second?
Hold one second, I'm sorry, I just thought of this. What about, Lord forbid, anything happen by what, current fireman? So you wanna just put, or current,
Well, I think with current firemen,
line of duty,
Yeah.
line of duty,
Good thing.
cause it, Lord forbid, something.
Yeah, that's,
Then we couldn't approve it, so.
alright, so I have the motion amended by Brandon Jones to include also current firefighters who, if there were a current firefighter who dies in the line of duty. Do I have a second?
Okay, Mike made the motion.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and that's, well, Brandon made the amended motion, so I need a second.
Okay.
I'll second the amended motion.
Alright, so we got a motion amended by Brandon Jones, seconded by, Doug. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Alrighty.
one more thing. This is under.
It better not be about silk fence, Mike.
No. LPL board has, wants us to clean up our, dry hydrant. What those are, those lakes, requested us to clean up those dry hydrants in the lakes we have them in, since we do not use them anymore.
What do you mean clean up?
Take them out.
Take them out.
I believe we need to talk to Chief about that.
Thoughts?
I would just make sure that ISO is not gonna count those as.
Well, and not even just that, are they needed for any,
Credible water
kind of
sources.
backup or anything?
Well,
The only
I'd say
two I
we
know of are the.
table it till next month so we can check with ISO and chief and whoever we need to. Would be my suggestion.
There's just two of them, I believe, that are on lake property, and I think there's still one on Alice Road, if I'm not mistaken.
What is
As far as I know, it's still out there.
I'm not sure, I'm not.
PVC.
It's PVC,
Yeah, this suction.
Alright, so
That's all I got.
we'll table that. Anything else? Alright, any public input? Ms. Christensen?
Okay, I have watched the November meeting, I wasn't here, there's a couple things I couldn't really hear. One thing is, the dues increase proposed on vacant parcels, and it's going from 3% or $7.50 up to, what was I couldn't hear that.
I
I
don't have it
think I
sitting in
have my
front of me.
copy
That's
with me.
okay.
Do we have that posted on the website, by the way, that proposed dues increase?
Not yet, I'm just waiting on Chief to say, give his approval to deliver, but it could be up there, just a few minutes.
Go ahead and get that
I
up.
know it was also $10 per parcel, but I didn't know that that
I think
included
maximum
percentage
3%
too or not.
value.
Proposed $10 for vacant land.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and also, there was nothing said about, or is the vote gonna, include a county collection, or is that off the table?
That's the intent, is for county collection, as long as the county, backs that up.
If they can do it accurately.
Yeah, if they can do it accurately and correctly, so that we don't spend all the money we make turning around and correcting errors. Cause we have had quite a few county errors that we've had to deal with, and some of that's just because of recent real estate transactions, a lot of buying and selling going on that they haven't caught up. But, as somebody who works in that industry, Tuscaloosa County is further behind than Bibb County when it comes to their systems for managing that sort of thing.
I think their software too, last time, if I'm not mistaken,
They
couldn't.
just updated their software
Okay.
like this, for this year, so it's going to, they're having to work out everything. But when she says not 100%, just to clarify, she doesn't mean like 50%, 40%. 1% off is still, incorrect, so
Yeah.
she was saying, it's just a small amount, but, it just depends on how much you're comfortable with, 1%, 2%.
Well, that'll be something that we address as they update their systems. Thank God they're updating them.
But they will not do, if someone like pays a property tax, doesn't pay the fire tax when they get their bill, but they will not do the, like, property sale for past due.
Will,
I believe they remanded to us for collections, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we'll have to file the lien and then whenever we decide to do it, or turn it over to the attorney for collections.
What can the attorney do?
You go out and follow lien.
Yeah.
We'll enforce the lien, and
Yeah.
our attorney has collected a substantial number of back dues.
But I mean, how is she, I'm just curious, how's she
Um,
enforcing it? Can, like, threat a lawsuit or something?
Yeah, she's sending demand letters that basically say, hey, you owe this, pay up. If you don't, it's gonna cost you, we're gonna take you to court. And she includes her fees on those letters. So if you get to the point where you're getting a demand letter from the attorney, your back due, you're probably paying almost as much in legal fees as you are in back dues at that point. So you're paying our attorney and paying us at that point. And then if it doesn't, once you clear through that, then we start moving on to litigating, which can be, depending on the amount that we're talking about, could result in forced sale of property, claims courts, all kinds of different stuff where it can be enforced, garnishment, that sort of thing. But you actually have to go through all the steps before you can get to that point. But county collection will make it a lot easier. And more than that is it'll completely end all these arguments that you get these people out there who for some reason have this just delusional idea that they don't have to pay fire dues, that it's not required. And it'll probably send a wake-up call to a lot of these people who just choose not to pay their fire dues. Because it'll give us a little bit more backing when it shows up on their tax bill, particularly people who own their property outright. With mortgage companies, if it shows up on the tax bill, the mortgage company should pay it. You're gonna have some servicers that are maybe a little wonky based on whatever state they were formed in and state laws and that sort of thing. But most servicers will pay it. So if you got a mortgage on your house, you're probably paying your fire dues, because they're gonna get a bill from the county that says pay X, and they're not gonna look down and say, oh, well, we're not doing fire dues. They're just gonna pay X.
To go through the escrow.
Yeah, and then they'd adjust the escrow on the people who have escrows.
Okay, well, something else I asked for told is that we can only collect so many years back. Is that true? Or how many years if it's
Was
true?
it 20?
There is a attorney general's,
A lien's
Isn't it-
20 years.
it's 20 years. There's an attorney general's opinion that basically states if you try to go after something that's more than 20 years old, you waited too long. So we can go back 20 years. I know this kind of is tipping our hand a little bit, saying this in open meeting. We're going after everything. So if somebody owes 28 years of past dues, we're going after 28 years saying, hey, this is what you owe. But when it comes to what we can actually get from them in court, it'll be 20. We won't be able to, we're not going to be able to get a judge to award us anything beyond the 20 and the legal dues.
If we've been trying for 15 years, is that not?
Okay.
Well, we really haven't gone with it.
That's the whole problem, is that we only started really trying to enforce this, 3-4 years ago?
Okay, well, then
All
never
we've been
mind.
doing for years is
I mean-
filing liens. So, and then,
I mean-
If I'm wrong, when we first started looking into that, it was 20 years from, for instance, that 20-year mark. If we filed before that 20-year mark for the lien, we still could count.
Yeah, if we're going after it, it has to be we're going after it within 20 years of when it was due. So it's not like
That's what I was-
every day, I've been going after you for your back dues for a year and a half and you're dragging it out and you're just losing back dues. It doesn't work like that.
but let's just let the lawyers handle it.
But yeah, that's basically we're letting lawyers handle it.
The lawyer told me I can bill all of it.
Yes, so we can bill all of it. We're just probably only gonna be able to enforce what's 20 years old and newer. And that does not include liens. A lien is a lien is a lien. It's on there forever. So if they actually got the lien affixed, because there are some people who did get their liens affixed properly, it doesn't matter if that lien's 30 years old. If it's on the property and they try to sell it or something and it runs into an actual title attorney, it's not gonna go anywhere with a mortgage or a loan or anything that does a proper title search.
And then, am I correct in saying it applies to, if they refinance their loan, if they sell, and if an inheritance, if the owner passes away, then the person that inheritance is responsible for catching it up before it can be.
If it goes into the state.
Well, that yes and no on most of that. If it's a loan, yes. There's not a mortgage company on this planet that is not gonna do title search before, because they don't want the fire department to have a higher lien position than the mortgage.
Let's let the lawyers handle all that.
Okay. So
With inheritance, it's just a
Let's
matter
let the
of,
lawyers handle all of it.
well, we can let the lawyers handle it.
Well, all right, drop it.
Okay,
So-
I got more, a few more things. You mentioned ISO, did they ever do the new rating, and if so, what is it? Is it up, down,
No,
whatever?
we found out, 2 weeks ago or so that, well, it was right before Christmas, that they're in Jefferson County right now, so
It was
they're,
New Year's, remember?
yeah, that's right.
Right before New Year's, they're going to McCalla in
They're
February.
still working in February, so they're still working in Jefferson County. There's only like 3 or 4 of them in the whole state, so.
And I mentioned before, when I've asked about the, calls, that days we don't have anybody here to respond to calls, and several people, I know I'm scared of myself, so I'm not listening to your calls if you don't like it, but several people I know do, and they let me know. And to me, I kinda keep a list when I get a text or a phone call, and to me, it seemed like half the month of December, there was equivalent to the days of about half the month of December. I think I was even out of town, but I think I had like 11 or 12 days before the month was even up that there had been no one responded. So I'm just curious how many paid firefighters have we got that actively are responding to calls, and how many volunteers have we got at this time? I've apparently gone down since I got the roster in January, I would assume.
It's going up and going down.
Jim,
Chief
Jeremy, you
hired three people this past week.
Yeah, and I hired somebody today.
and we still got one that's working a 24-hour shift. Those 3 are splitting shifts.
Some are doing 24, but the option is for 12 or 24, whatever they do.
We're doing everything.
And they got another one that's coming in, but we still got other volunteers. We got
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5. Yeah.
But I know one is out due to a medical issue. Others are working overtime constantly.
So the number of paid is 3 new ones, or they paid, or
Yes.
Yes,
and what?
Four
So
new ones.
Four total new ones, and then they're in there a few more.
Well, they were part of the volunteer pool. They just moved
Ah,
up in the
okay.
field position, so.
Okay.
So there's 4 plus basically 9, if I'm correct.
9
Altogether.
paid?
No, just 9.
Nine.
Between, yeah.
So right
And
now,
if
we
you know
don't have
anybody
that one
that's
on
willing
every
to
shift.
volunteer,
Well, we don't have
send them our way.
necessarily the same person for
Yeah.
24 hours each
Miss
shift. We have
Jack-
some people that are working 12 and 12.
I tried to hire her the other day.
That's what she said. I said, you cannot even get in the truck. But you can only get in the
I told her
car.
the same thing when she came by the other day.
That's all.
Okay. Anything else?
I've got some things. She got one of mine answered. Well, flip my page. So, how can you enforce ordinances outside of the city limits?
That's a question for the city. They're the ones who enforce.
I mean, we were talking about it earlier, that
They're putting the ordinances
We
we
can
requested. in
piggyback
place.
their ordinance and assign our own ordinance for county properties. As a fire
Police
district.
jurisdiction.
No, they cover their police jurisdiction, if I'm not mistaken, with their ordinances, correct?
Yes,
So anything outside the police jurisdiction, which is that mile and a half, I believe,
3 miles.
3 miles, oh, sorry.
I thought it was
I thought it was a mile and a half.
Yeah.
Police
It's-
is, I think at one
Theirs
point
is
it was
mile.
3, but it's a mile and a half.
It's a mile and a half now.
Anything outside that that's county jurisdiction would be enforced by us, and we'd have our lawyer pretty much write the policy similar to what Lakeview's is. Since fire districts can do that, especially, there's a difference between fire districts and fire protection districts. We got more, actually got more law enforcement under fire protections than a regular fire district does. So,
Well, I know in the past, we haven't been able to get the county to write any kind of ticket because you got somebody burning tires or treated wood or anything like that, and they wouldn't write a ticket on it, they said they
we
couldn't.
might be able to, I don't know if it's a possibility, we'll talk to the city and see if they can write outside there.
That's one of the things the mayor is looking into is on that, and I know 100% within their it's actually within their planning and zoning jurisdiction is what it's gonna be within. So, but they'll be able to write citations within that, and they may end up talking to us about contracting to have firemen go out to verify that something is a violation or not. We'll find out about that as it moves forward. Like I said, we just had our first discussions with the mayor yesterday. But yeah, the city enforces it, and basically instead of us piggybacking off the county, we'll piggyback off the city.
And the repairs in the back, you said it was 840,
What is it, 20?
20.
Yes, 820.
Can they not use the existing steel door?
Nope.
Why?
It's,
It all comes in one piece, I think,
It's a package.
package deal.
You can buy it that way, but you can also just buy just the frame.
You can buy a slab, but you also, there's no guarantee you're gonna get a good fit in a frame that old with a brand new slab.
More money, labor too.
And it's, once again, more labor. Cause that frame is not 100% square anymore. It's been sitting there for how long?
Over 11 years.
With a bad floor underneath it?
A door should won't even lock now.
Yeah, so it's better to just replace the entire thing anyway, both financially and for the integrity of the door and everything else.
Okay. And you said George is gonna do the flooring?
Yeah, he had mentioned taking care of the flooring for us.
Are we gonna pay him to do that, or?
That hadn't been discussed yet. I don't know if he's donating it or what. He had just mentioned taking care of it, so if he, I think he's done stuff like that just on a donation basis for us in the past. I think he did a lot of work out here on this floor for
yeah,
free.
he did
Yeah,
a repair or something out here.
some holes that were
So-
drilled through.
He hadn't mentioned it yet, so, that's where we're at on that right now. I mean, if he came in and said, hey, I'm gonna need to be paid for this, unless it's, hey, buy me the materials and I'm providing the labor, then we just have to put it out like anything else for bid. But, if he's donating the labor and donating the materials
I
especially.
don't think a sitting board member ethically can do that.
Yeah, exactly, so, I don't see that. And he's never done it in the past, he's always just donated, so I seriously doubt he's gonna show up and say that he wants to beat us up over, 3 square feet of linoleum. Anything else?
Make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel issues.
I have a motion to go into an executive session to discuss personnel issues. I have a second, all in favor?
Can he get a signature before he leaves?